It's that time for episode 240, or if you change a few of those numbers around, episode 420, baby.
We're just gonna do episode 420 completely baked.
We are entire time. We're
gonna send Matt's kids to a babysitter so they don't see it, and then we're just gonna come on like fully looking like Towley with the super red eyes. It's gonna be amazing.
Towley.
I just dated myself.
South Park is bigger than ever.
Honestly, I couldn't be happier for them. Like, fucking kill it. Like, all you do is like roast the worst things in people, and they're like roasting the shit out of the president, and they're just like,
sure,
I don't care. Who cares?
I can't. We think, to your point, I think of South Park as this like thing from the past that was very popular, and we have a friend who used to work for South Park doing social media, and she's like, oh no, I just post like GIFs of Cartman and like it gets like 1 billion retweets or whatever. But then also most recently, not to just start the show with media talk, but Paramount in its like clusterfuck scramble to like figure out what the fuck it is and own, display all the IP that it has, but then it was bought by Ellison, the Ellison son, the billionaire, whatever. It's the founder of Oracle's son. I never remember it's Larry or
Larry
whoever.
Ellison, but I don't remember.
Remember the son. But anyway, billionaires buying media companies, and then blah blah blah, and then Paramount just closed the deal for Warner Brothers. Blah blah blah. Anyway, Paramount, which fucking owns Viacom, which is Comedy Central, which is therefore South Park, I guess didn't own the streaming rights to South Park or something. So they paid Matt and Trey $5 billion to like put South Park back on Paramount Plus and or continue streaming South Park for like 10 years. I'm not quite accurate on all of the details here, but basically Paramount paid $5 billion just to not to own it, but just to like put it back on the platform so people could watch it.
Syndication rights, yeah.
It's basically syndication for a long period of time, but it's not syndication because it's streaming, but blah 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 blah. And
I don't know what they call it when it's streaming.
Whatever that term is, blew my fucking mind because like Disney bought Star Wars, all of Star Wars, the whole IP from Lucas for like $4 billion. And recently Paramount paid $5 billion just to put it on the fucking app. That's how big South Park is.
That makes me happy.
And how crazy these tech media companies are.
That the part about Trey and Matt getting paid makes me happy. That gives me joy.
Yeah. They reopened a restaurant in Colorado. I forget what it's called, but it was like a famous restaurant that fell into disrepair, and they loved it because they grew up there, and they like reopened it, and now they're like restaurateurs, like they have a whole restaurant business. It's public knowledge, but we know this because our friend was working on that stuff, and we were like,
what a great job, man.
What a job is weird
to be like, this is what I've done for a living. I mean, I've had some jobs, but that one really, She's no longer there, and that's another story. But it was kind of, while she worked for them for a long time, it's kind of like, oh yeah, like Trey just texted me, I got to like do the restaurant thing. It's like, okay, cool. So neat.
You have a cool life. How are you?
I am well. We're doing a slightly shorter show today, listeners, because I am going to a K-pop concert that I was not planning to go to until exactly 11:06 a.m. this morning. I heard, so just to give you guys a little bit of clarity. So we're on the lower floor of my house. My office is in like the front room of like one of the front rooms of the house. And my husband's office is one of the bedrooms upstairs, which he's converted.
Yep.
So, sometimes he'll yell down at me or I'll yell up at him something or whatever, right? Or we'll type it to each other in Messenger. Yeah. But anyway, I hear like a yelp. And I'm like, and he comes down the stairs and he's like, do you want to go see Twice tonight for free? And I was like, I mean, they're like the biggest female K-pop band other than Blackpink. You know,
right.
they were on the K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack.
That's what I was going to say. You Discord, as we were scheduling this recording, you were like, oh, we got to do this time. We'll do this and this because I'm seeing Twice. And I'm like, oh, cool. Twice. And I'm like.
And then it kind of dawned on you who Twice fully
was.
Twice
from who wrote like a lot of the K-pop Demon Hunters. Like they're, like you said, they're one of the biggest fucking deals in the entire world right now.
They are, and it's so crazy because our friend who gave us the tickets, he's a huge fan. I feel horrible. It's like his version. It's like my BTS is his Twice, right?
Yeah, sure.
And so he had his tickets. He was all excited to go. He's seen them before, but like he was, you know, there's no, when you have a favorite K-pop band, there's every time is joy.
In any
right?
band, any artist, obviously you're going to see them as much as you can.
So he has, I think he was like recently traveling out of the country and he has like norovirus or something. It sucks.
Oh, no.
And he was like, I'm so sick, I can't play video games. And I was like, oh.
That's, you know that it's bad.
You know that it's bad when you can't play video games. Because that's my favorite thing to do when I'm sick.
Absolutely. But like,
you know,
you can only, like you can't even, your head can't even be.
You can't concentrate.
To like look at the TV. You just got to be like watching, you know. I don't know, traders or something.
TLDR, he certainly can't go to a crowded concert. So my husband and I are like, yeah. And then like, I could tell like Patrick's really poppy, you know? And I'm like, are you excited? And he's like, yeah, it's my first K-pop
That's great.
Which I've been saying, like, we need to get you to a show. Now, the same friend that gave us the tickets, actually, they worked together for a while. And he really got Patrick listening to a lot of the girl bands and a couple of the guy bands. But yeah, so yes. So why we're doing a quick show today, this afternoon, is because the show, it's with traffic, it's going to take us an hour to get to where the show is. Right. So we have to like shoot out of here right after the pod. And
like if they stop in Atlanta, this is a global mega band, obviously. They stop in Atlanta. Are they doing like a show and then they go somewhere else? Or is it like?
It depends. Like I haven't checked yet to see if it's like 2 in a row, but like for instance when BTS travel, they will normally do like 2 nights in New York, 2 nights in LA, but like
New York and LA are New York and LA, and I'm no disrespect to Atlanta, but it's like, okay, we are a band, we are arguably the most famous and in-demand band on the planet Earth right now among them. How many? We have to be in Hong Kong in like 3 days, and we have to be in Australia after that. Like, how long can you stay in one metropolitan area? I don't know. It just
usually not more than 48 hours.
A crazy life.
Yeah, it really is a crazy life. Like BTS have sung about it in songs before. Like we're on a plane, we're fucking always on a plane, and it's like, oh, God. I mean, if it's a plane you can go to sleep on, fine. But
sure, but that's, I mean, what K-pop Demon Hunters is so it just has everything about that world and that life. Because how does the movie open? They're on a plane going to the gig, and that's where the story like it's just perfect. It's all everything about it.
It is. It really is. So it should be fun. It's always a spectacle. One nice thing about K-pop is that the stage shows are very theatrical. In addition to the dance, they'll have big sets and all that stuff. So even though I've never seen them, I expect them to put on a very good show.
The other crazy thing is like there's an army of people who are bringing and building and setting things up for this theatrical thing. I think I could not pick Twice out of a lineup, but I think as the K-pop stuff was getting awards, they were showing clips of them doing their thing at the Grammys or whatever. And I just remember being like, oh, that's Twice. That I've never seen them before. And I'm looking at like a music video and I'm just like, I can't stop looking at them. Like I am mesmerized.
They're made for that. They're all made for that.
Like I'm mesmerized by the dancing and the choreography and the color, that whatever was happening, I'm just like, I don't really know what this is or what the song is, but like I cannot look away from this. It is a manufactured
product that is like, I tell you what, I know a lot of ADHDers who are very into K-pop, and I think it's because it's very dopamine inducing.
It was the most dopamine infused,
super
visual.
bright colors. Yeah. I think a lot of the songs production and stuff, and just like the kind of structures they use. Like I used to really love when I first got into K-pop, a friend introduced me, and I used to really love listening to it to clean because it gave me so much energy. It's so energetic that I'd clean, my whole house. I'd clean up my car.
Tip, yeah.
It's just very upbeat music, and I always really loved it for that. So yes, that's absolutely a part of the whole appeal.
And there's 45 members of the band. I was wait, how many are there?
Yeah, twice. To be honest, I don't know for sure, but I feel like it's roughly around the same size as BTS. I could be wrong. BTS is 7.
7?
But
Seven's a lot
there are some bands with crazy amount. Yeah, like one of the boy bands, I think it's 17. I think they have 11 members or something.
That's not a band. That's a chorus. Okay, that's an orchestra.
There's just too many people. I can't memorize all the names when they get to a certain size. It's just too many. So yeah, it'll be fun. I'll report back. But yes, I will be dashing to a K-pop concert right after this conversation about Next Fest.
We gotta get moving. We're not talking about news. We're just talking about games that we have been playing / demos we've tried exclusively, games that we want to talk about. Also, before we get into it, if you're watching the video version, I usually keep a pretty clean house, but I have Star Wars ships all farting around on my couch in the background.
Wow, what the fuck?
I know. And it's because I'm waiting for stands. Uh-oh, she left. Holy shit. She was so pissed that I have a messy room that she left the podcast. Holy
They're not messy. Fuck. They're lined along the back of the couch. But, they look like they're meant to be there.
I was like, I need stands for these, but then I have something for these, and I ordered from Etsy, whatever. And I think I mentioned in the last show, I'm moving my retro collection to this space, which you cannot see. But I have in my very hands it's not extraordinarily rare or special, but it is
special. It doesn't have to be rare to be special. What game is in there? I can't see.
It is Mario Brothers. So for audio listeners or for people who the two people who may not know what they're looking at, this is the Famicom, which is the Japanese Nintendo Entertainment System, the family computer, which I got at not a thrift store, I got at a retro game store. And it has an orange cartridge of Mario Brothers, which is not Super Mario Brothers. It is the arcade port of
so cool.
The original, which is it? I always liked that game. As a matter of fact, it's like the enemies are coming out of pipes, and it's cooperative, but you can kind of compete, Mario and Luigi, and it's got good physics. I always enjoyed that for what it was worth. So all the retro shit and a bunch of Star Wars action fleet toys are just fucking all over the place. And I apologize. But I wanted to show off the Famicom. And also, we now have the new tradition where we have to do video game trivia, where I have a deck of cards. We're using the honor system where I have not viewed. I'm shuffling the cards, and I'm not going to look at the answer. The current score is 0-0. Neither of us got last week's trivia question right. Are you prepared?
Yep. Yes.
Here we go. I'm drawing a card at random that I've hopefully never seen. Oh, whoa. Published by Square Enix. Perhaps you've heard of them. Which 2018 role-playing game features 8 playable protagonists? 2018?
I feel like I know this.
Okay. We can't discuss it amongst ourselves. We have to answer simultaneously or lock our answers in.
Okay.
2018.
I've got my guess.
Square?
I think you even played it.
What?
I think you even played it.
Oh, shit.
I think you did. If I'm right, which I think I might be.
I'm struggling. I'm okay. I'm sure my answer is wrong, but mine is locked in. Yours is locked in. Honor system. I think mine's wrong, so I'm going to say it first. I'm going to say like Final Fantasy 15, which is like the dudes in the car, the cool dudes driving cars.
You're definitely wrong.
I can't remember which one's which, but I'm like 2018 is not that long ago, but it also kind of is a while back, and it's probably after 14 online, but maybe not. So I'm having trouble placing this. What is the correct answer?
Octopath Travelers, because it's got Octo in the name. I think I'm right, but I'm not 100% sure.
Fuck! That was 2018?
I'm not sure.
The correct answer is Octopath Traveler. Colette is 1 point on the board.
That's me.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. I should have known that.
No, you're not. But I mean, sometimes your brain just blanks out. And at first, I was thinking about a different game. I don't know if it's Square Enix though, but it's the one where you meet like 107 people. It's been around for a really long time.
Is
you know
it Suikoden, or am I thinking of a different one?
And at first I was like, is it that? But then I thought about Octopath, and I was like, I think it's Octopath because it's 8.
The answer was in the question. She got it right. The battle system in Octopath Traveler is great. The writing,
you hated the writing. I remember that
so much. And there was a demo of the new one, which is Octopath Traveler 0. I said this in the Discord. There's a demo. I was like, you know what? Maybe they refined that. Maybe they cleaned it up. Maybe this is like, I was craving a turn-based RPG.
You did.
I fired up the demo. I listened to literally 3 lines of dialogue, and I was like, fuck this. It was literally like the villains of whatever the story was being like, ha ha ha, we're pretty evil, aren't we? Like that should have just been, it was so dumb. And I like screamed, and I was like, no, I can't do this. I can't, no matter how good the mechanics are, I can't like press A through the dialogue enough to like skip this bullshit.
That sucks. I mean, I could go into how sad that is, but I won't, because I've done that in many other episodes.
Yeah, we're going to move on.
Instead, we'll talk about other really good video games.
So do you want to cover the Stardew anniversary first before we do games? I know we're not doing news, but this is very important.
Well, I'm just going to do a brief shout out that yesterday was a really nice day. I had been looking very forward to it. I wore my little Stardew shirt with the Junimos on it to work because it was the 10th anniversary of Stardew. Ape did a couple different things happened. Ape did a really nice, heartwarming little retrospective, which Matt and I both watched, just about his progress and how building the game. And it was great because it was so unprofessional. It was just like him just being like, yeah, we did this part and it sucked and whatever. I didn't like it. And I deleted it. But like
showing the original builds of the game, which
was cool. I mean, I'm sure it's out there.
I don't know if it is. I wonder if that was brand new. Yeah.
I don't know, but like he was showing it all the way back when it wasn't called Stardew Valley, which was really, really cool.
What was it called? It was called...
I forgot. He did say it in the show yesterday, though.
Sprout Valley?
Sprout, yeah. Or
Sprout Leaf something. Valley or Sprout Valley?
Something. Yeah. It was called something different, but I mean, it was so bland and plain looking, like when he started. Like the bones are there, but it's just, it's crazy. It's awesome. So that was really nice. He revealed the 2 new marriage candidates he chose, which he just had this like little boy smile on his face when he did it. It was so cute. And he was like, I have an envelope and it said marriage candidates on it or whatever. And then he opened it and it was like written with a Sharpie and like bad boy handwriting. It was so cute.
Yep.
So loved every moment of that. And then Fangamer dropped like a whole bunch of new stuff.
Oh, did
for
they?
Stardew, yeah.
Oh.
So, and their collection is really nice. Like it's already really nice, but the stuff they dropped is even nicer. They did these beautiful pastel vinyls of the Symphony of Seasons performances, like a couple of new shirts, a really cute, like just really, really cute stuff. So that was nice. I was like, oh, Fangamer, like I love it.
Oh my God, these playing cards.
Aren't they pretty?
I might have
They're really pretty. Everything is really, really pretty. I want it all. So that was really cool. That was like their hat tip.
These all suck and no one should buy them.
Don't buy them.
So that they don't sell out. Oh, these shirts are great. Damn.
It's all great. And I'm like such a sucker for the Junimos. So I want that long sleeve one with the Junimos on the sleeves. And then to top it all off, and funny enough, this might have been after 8, my favorite part, last night, and it was night because the orchestra playing it was in Singapore. There was a live telecast, which Fangamer hosted, of Symphony of Seasons being performed by a Singaporean orchestra.
Wow.
And that was 2 hours long, which was really nice. And even though I've seen the show, my opinion was that this was the most nuanced kind of lingering performance of the music. Like some of the music they made sound familiar but different, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. That's interesting.
And it was such a beautiful interpretation. Like I just was awed by it. So last night, like Patrick and I listened to the whole thing before we went to bed for the evening, and it was just so great. So if you like the music, I cannot encourage enough, look up this concert.
It is hopefully it is. This is very interesting because as a live performance that is still touring and selling tickets, like sometimes they wouldn't normally do that.
It was
like be very guarded about that. Yeah, but then it's like, well, but it's not going to come to your city necessarily, and or you may not have the finances to get to a show or whatever. So to make it accessible is just great. It's just
it was really nice, and as much as I enjoyed the live orchestra I saw, I enjoyed this one more. So really cool, just like nice big celebration of all of it, of the whole thing. And when Eric Barone talked in his video, he was just, as always, so humble, so incredibly relatable, and just couldn't see success on that scale come to a nicer person. So
this is a millionaire who could do whatever he wants, and what he wants to do is thank the fans from the bottom of his heart and keep making his game.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's really nice. So really enjoyed it. It was nice to be a fan, especially yesterday.
Yes, that is well said. The only other thing that really, really I loved about it, which you sort of already touched on, was like here's him commentating on the early builds of the game, and he is saying out loud, like, this part sucks. Oh, what was I thinking choosing this color? These sprites are so bad. But what I love seeing creativity evolve. Like as a creative person, it's like, oh, right. Even the person who is the greatest of all time at making something, their first iteration has to be developed. And so what I love seeing is like you said, the bones, but it's like, all right, a lot of this stuff didn't make it in, or a lot of this stuff was radically changed, but this little sprite of a turnip is exactly the same as it is in the current game.
And or you're like, there's a nugget of what it's going to become.
A little teeny bit. Yeah, like this sound effect of swinging your hoe. The hoe looks different, the hole looks different, the art looks different, but the sound is the exact same sound or something, whatever it was. And I was like, that's so cool. That is such a cool thing to see.
If only the people of the world knew that every book they've ever loved with their whole heart was edited into that shape, and every music you've ever loved was cut and produced and moved into that shape. Like, it's so easy to look at, to us, perfect or near perfect art and be like, I could never, but the thing about it is really the courage to try and to suck when you start.
Yes. And
I mean, he's now had over 10 years of practice because he started before the game came out. We're just counting from the release.
Yes, exactly. Right.
Yesterday.
So that's 2015 to now is 10 years, but he was showing builds that were probably 3 years before that. I swear to fucking God, we're not going to talk about AI on this podcast, but I just, there's a wonderful a video from, I hope I'm saying his name right, Brandon Sanderson. He's an author. I don't know if he's like a sci-fi author.
Yeah, I think I know his name.
Anyway, it's brilliant. And his thesis, which I have really internalized a lot lately, is like, if you choose to generate art, and because that is so much easier to just make the final product out of this technology, you are robbing yourself of becoming an artist. And his thesis is like, no, actually you are the art. And he says it's way more eloquent than like the friends you made along the way. It's more like the reason this book is so popular, it's exactly what you're saying. The reason this work of whatever is great is because it went through many, many iterations and many, many failures. But if you don't do that and shortcut that, then you're robbing yourself of the process, which is hard. And also we're going to start robbing our culture of greatness. And it's not here yet. We're not seeing it yet, but it's the frog in boiling water. We're going to wake up in 20 years being like, why isn't there any great things anymore?
I think there still will be. I think
there will be,
I think there will be a movement of fighting back against it. I think it's already got boots on the ground. That's my opinion. Like there will be camps.
You're right. And there are people who believe, and I hope they're right, that like the real stuff will be more valued because everything else has been devalued. And I want to believe that.
Well, and I'll make this really quick, but one perspective that I think really helped me was, it was like, oh, everything's it's going to be full of AI slop now. Any artistic space, writing, painting, drawing, wherever is already full of slop that people made by hand. So now they're just making it with a tool, right?
Right, I agree.
And yes, I hate to say it, it amplifies the simplicity. So you can make more of it.
Yes,
but correct. Slop, stuff that's not good, isn't necessarily new per se. Mm-hmm. But what matters is that whether it's good by whatever standard or not, the person still went through the process, like you're talking about, of making it. And often I look at certain types of art, like I really hate saying this, but I'm just going to say it anyway. If I saw a Picasso, he wasn't famous and I didn't know who he was, I'd be like, that's ugly. Because I've never liked his work, but some people do, right? And there are a lot of artists that are high profile that do work that I personally don't think looks very professional, but I don't think it matters because I think what matters the most is the person's expression of self into whatever their medium is.
And what it means to the audience that appreciates it. And I really like that framework that you're laying out. And I will only add, I will only modify a definition of slop as it's not that it's bad, it's that it is manufactured for the purpose of profit, and I think the real enemy here is that creativity is so intertwined with capitalism and markets where it's like, well, artists have to make a living through their art. And it's like they do in this system, but what if we talked about this? Like, what if the purpose of art was to make art instead of to make profit? And if that was the actual framework of our creative society, then AI wouldn't really be a threat because it's like, yeah, you can just crank your slop all you want, and people who want slop can just fucking slop it up. But over here, we will be caring about whatever. But if the people who make the good stuff can't pay their rent, then they will stop making it, and then we can't have nice things. Anyway, protect Eric Barone at all costs.
Eric Barone for president. Thank you very much.
For president. Okay, we got to talk about games that we are playing, which will definitely include Steam Next Fest demos. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the reason for the season. 1,000 billion free video games right there on your personal computer. What do you want to do first here?
Well, I just wanted to say first off that I've played about, I think, 8 or 9 demos so far, and some of them have been bad, some of them have been good, some of them have been in between. But the thing that has been the biggest blast for me, because I actually didn't expect it. So when I saw it, I was like, woo! And then I texted Matt and I was like, Matt! Was Vampire Crawlers. I just didn't think there was going to be a demo so soon, first of all.
How dare you?
Second of all,
say the full name of this game, please.
It is Vampire Crawlers, the turbo wild card from Vampire Survivors.
The turbo wild card from Vampire Survivor.
Like what? Poncle, what? I don't know.
Poncle, you could have called this anything, but that you went all the way.
Poncle be Ponklin is what I think we're seeing.
Magnificent, yeah.
But and then then this is interesting that I had this like reaction.
Yeah.
But I was like, Vampire Survivors hit so fucking hard for me that I was like, I had this weird skepticism, like maybe it was a one-off, or maybe this is going to feel hollow or not fun or whatever, because like I like wild card, like card builders rather.
Yeah.
But I don't love them. You know what I mean? Like I like them. So I was like, is this going to be fun? And my husband asked maybe the smartest question, which was, how is he going to duplicate that like mental bliss of bullet hell of when you leveled everything so high that you're just fucking obliterating everything on the screen? How can he duplicate that with cards?
Exactly.
And I was like, that's a super good question, actually. So I started playing, and at first my take, just let me back up. The demo allows you to go through 2 areas of which are familiar from the original game. You'll be like, oh, we're going there. I'm not going to spoil it, but and so the first section that we went through, I was like, this is too easy. And there's like, what's the strategy? Like, there's no strategy because there's actually a button you can press that allows you to just play all the cards.
Right. Any card you play in any order pretty much gets you through the door there. Yeah.
And I was like thinking to myself, it can't just be this. Not that this is bad, but it can't just be this. So, you know, you play through that part, and then you get to kind of like a rest area set up. I don't want to go too deep into detail on that either, because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't played.
Well, I mean, look, this is not a cinematic, this is not Expedition 33.
That's true.
I think laying out the basic mechanics of this is why this thing is amazing. So yeah,
totally.
It's a demo.
Totally.
You know.
That's fair. Okay, that's fair. So yeah, after you get through your first area, which in my opinion is easy. I don't know how you felt about it, Matt, but I thought it was very easy. Sure. You kind of have like a hub area, and that is where you're going to start doing really fun things, like you're going to unlock characters. And what happens in this game is that, I mean, I guess it's kind of like Vampire Survivors, where like you unlock a character, but instead of playing as them, they're like what do they call them? Companions? No, that's not right, is it?
Or I forget what it is, but you basically
crawlers. It's crawlers.
Is it crawlers? Yeah. Or are you the crawler? Yeah, one of that.
No. It's called crawlers. I remember now. And so
you equip the hero as part of your deck, but you can only equip one, at least as we so far we know.
So far.
Yeah.
And then you play them, but there is a possibility that they're going to cycle back through your deck. So like if you're in a section, you might play Gennaro or whatever, and he has a certain effect, and then he goes shuffled back into your deck, but might come back up later. So he's not with you the whole time.
But you should back up and explain the basic, the core mechanics, because
sorry, I'm really bad at this.
No, you're fine.
I skip mechanics all the time. So the way it works is it's just like what it looks like. It's smashed together a old style, like 80s, 90s style dungeon crawler. Right?
You can grid-based dungeon crawl.
Yeah, you're just, crawling, and you can play it. It is controller friendly, but
yes,
you can play it
I played with a controller. It's excellent.
Yeah,
it's everything you want. It's very nice.
So you're doing your thing. You have a map. You can see where your guys are. And when you fight them, you're going to get cards. So instead of like, you're going to have a variety of cards, just like any card battler, where you're going to be able to do damage. You're going to be able to put on extra armor, use a special item. And they're all items you're already familiar with. And to me, this is part of what makes the game genius.
Yes.
Because it's playing on all the stuff that you've gotten, all the iconography you've gotten so used to looking at. And so you're getting these little dopamine hits of like, oh, it's the holy water. Oh, that's really cool that the Bible looks like that from this perspective or whatever.
And sound design, you're also getting all the hits of all the familiar sound effects and the texture, for lack of a better word, the texture of the game is 100% in the Poncleverse, which I'm officially coining it the Poncleverse for sure.
I love that.
Yep.
I love that. So
it is turn-based battles, but you're simply using cards, but each card is, like you said, is a weapon from the game. So if in Vampire Survivors you equip the knife, you're constantly shooting the knife, but in Vampire Crawlers, the knife is a single card,
or and you might get multiples.
You can have multiple knives in your deck. And the deck, at least in the beginning, to your point, is very small. You have literally at first you have 3 cards. And so there's no building yet. And there's no, as you cycle, it's and it's the same cards again. You're not really drawing from a pool, but that does change obviously as you build.
Right. And I think that what was exciting to me was that you saw that flesh out in the next section. So, you have your maps are sectioned off into, and you can tell by the icons, your baddies. There's little dots that will show you destructible stuff where you can get coins, floor chickens, stuff like that.
And you have to smash into them. If there's a torch post or whatever, you got to go and it breaks open and you get coins or you get chicken.
Which I enjoyed. I thought that was fun.
That's super fun. You actually have to unlock the dots on the map, I believe, by achieving something in the game. They're not on there by default. I could be wrong, but there is. I
wonder if I just blasted through that. I might have.
It is very missable, I think, but it's kind of you killed 100 enemies and now you can unlock a thing. So again, everything about it is you go back, like you said, you go back to the hub, but the hub is just basically a menu. It's all in 3D, but it's essentially the menu of do you want to spend gold to make your attacks 10% stronger?
Right.
That it's, again, mechanically, from a run-based perspective, you are investing currency exactly how you did in Vampire Survivors, but the combat mechanics are turn-based card battles.
Yeah, it's interesting because it took me a couple of goes to be these are runs. Yeah. I don't know why, but totally. I guess because I got absorbed into the different setting.
Right.
And then I think the first area I made it all the way through with no issues. And then the second area, the first time I died, I was oh, and I went to the hub and then I was oh, right, these are runs. This is still...
I can upgrade. I have enough gold to do something here. Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, I'm going to make a run. And then that part where I got stuck, I'm going to play that different, or I'm going to be a little stronger. And so I'm going to be okay. So it still kind of has that effect. Mm-hmm. So I feel when I got to the second area, I was oh, I'm feeling some challenge now. Okay. I can't just spam cards anymore. Now I'm oh, I really need to think about, how much mana I have and what I'm going to use. And I was I bet you this is going to get bigger and bigger to the point where you have really big decks.
Yes.
But when you pull off really fucking crazy combos, my guess is that's when you're going to get the big, crazy explosions that feel really rewarding.
Exactly. And it is already happening in the early game. But to lay that out a bit more for anyone who hasn't touched it yet, I need you to explain the combo system. I don't actually understand it, but the basic strategy is when I play this card, when I play Gennaro, any red card that I play subsequently gets 10% more damage, or this card attacks multiple enemies, but this card attacks one enemy. You don't choose. So it's, sorry, backing up. You are fighting a group of enemies on any one tile, sort of wizardry or Final Fantasy.
Enemy, but then they spread out.
They spread out into multiple enemies. You do not choose which enemy you attack. When you play a card, it's hey, you will do this much damage to these enemies. And I think some of the cards are this card does 30 damage and prioritizes attackers. And this card does 8 damage to everyone, regardless of whatever. And then the other important thing is that you can see the incoming damage from the enemies you are fighting, Slay the Spire style, which allows you to say okay, I will take 5 damage from these enemies unless I kill some of them / equip armor, which is a temporary buff that absorbs damage. So then to your point, it's okay, round 1, who cares? Just play cards. I'm killing bats. Who cares? round 2 or 3, it's like, all right, I have to equip the armor and then play the red card so it stacks with the next card, and that way I'm going to kill these guys before they attack me. And the kicker is, everything I just said sounds like I gotta like read the stats and look at the things and level up, and it's like Magic the Gathering. And we are here to tell you it is not. It is literally like
fast.
Do this, boom, next battle. Do this, wiped him out. Boom, boom, boom. Do this, oh, what about this? Blah, blah, blah. And it somehow, this genius has turned a deck building card battle system into a turn off your brain and kill things game. And I think that it is the most impressive mechanical achievement I have seen in some time.
Yeah, it's really, and like, I'm so excited about what's coming, because after you finish the second area, that's the end of the demo. I finished it and I was like, okay, that's the end of the demo.
Yeah.
But if you look on the Steam page, you will see 2 things that really excited me. One is a fight where the person that's playing has probably got, at a glance, maybe 30 cards on screen. So I'm like
in their hand.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, you're going to get to a point where you have that many cards coming out of your hand at a time. So I think it'll maybe slow down more, but also hopefully the idea is that the mechanics are such that it's kind of taught you what to do up to that point slower. So when you get to that level, you can still do it faster. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
No, I'm confident of that. If the good design scales all the way up, and the other reference point I'll drop in here is like, clearly what I think will happen is like, oh, I have this card and this card and this card, and this card synergizes with this, but then if I get this hero, and you start to build out your deck through your run or whatever you're doing, and I think what you will discover through play is that, oh, if I do this and then this and then this, you are starting to do like Balatro style damage where it's like, oh, this and this and this magnifies my abilities exponentially. You're not just getting 10%. You're not just like, oh, I'm doing 8 damage. Well, 10% more is going to be like 1 extra damage point. You're like, no, here and here. And now I'm doing 800 damage to an enemy using a card that originally did 8 damage or something. And that's where the dopamine machine kicks in.
It's that same feeling of when you layered the build really well in the original game.
Exactly.
And the other screen I was going to mention references this. It's the one where it's like it's really hard to see, to be honest, but the screen says ultra maximum overkill in like giant print letters, and then it's just a white explosion, and it's got like a dollar, like a coin amount, 5,000 coin, and I was and then on the side where you see the multiplier combos, it says 40, and I was like, oh, so you're going to be able to build up these fucking crazy ass combos that are going to let you so basically it's in TLDR, it's in there. What you want from the original game is in there. We just can't access it yet because the game's not out, but I think we will, and I think that it will be super rewarding. I guess I don't know what I was excited about this game, but I also like wasn't sure what to expect. I was like, well, I know they need to keep iterating and changing things. They've done so many updates, and so it's like it makes sense to have a new game in the Poncleverse. But I guess I just didn't like my expectations weren't low, but they weren't high, if that makes sense. And now they're high.
You could have been expecting like, hey, maybe they will make a really excellent deck building game that's not the same as Vampire Survivors, and therefore maybe it's not for me, but it's still great. Maybe they could have made a Slay the Spire like, and that would have been great, and it would have had the same art design, but it's not that. It's actually a blazing fast turn-based combat game. And I do not understand how they did it, but they did it. It's so good.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see what more it is, because I know there's so much more, and it's just we can't touch it yet. But super impressed.
Super impressed. Not to get so far in the weeds on it here, but like, so I understood the basic mechanics, which are, hey, if I play Gennaro, then my red cards get 10% bonus. And so you're sort of synergizing different cards. But what I must have glossed over, and I haven't gone back to it, is like, I don't understand how the combo system works, because what I was inadvertently doing is like, I'm playing this, then I'm playing this. And all of a sudden, the Bible or the axe was like, went from 20 damage to 400 damage. And I'm like, this is cool. I don't know how I'm doing this. And I couldn't figure it out.
I also don't know how I'm doing
You don't know. Okay, so something was missing in the tutorial maybe, or I glossed over it.
It's possible. I mean, like, there's messages all over it that are like, this is early and blah, blah, blah. So maybe they haven't finished it. I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was important too, because like, obviously, it's such a crystal clear system in Vampire Survivors. Like, like, let's just say like you have the knife or whatever, and then it's like, oh, and you get the spinach, and then by getting these two things, you're going to have this evolution.
Yeah, so exactly.
I know there's like evolution stuff. It's got to be evolution stuff.
And that might be deeper. What happens is when you play cards, they play down on the right-hand side of the play field, and then as you stack cards, you're starting to see multipliers. It's like 1x, 2x, and I don't understand what the X's do, why they're triggering, and I don't understand why suddenly the card that was in my hand previously starts to glow, and all of a sudden the damage is like way higher than it was before. And I'm like, okay, I don't know why this is triggering.
I think I just solved it, because I'm on the Steam page and I see that they have a series called Let's Explore Vampire Crawlers episode numbers, right?
Right.
So for episode 2, which is a YouTube video, there's a summary here that says combo multiplier. Play cards in ascending mana cost to increase the combo multiplier and therefore multiply the effectiveness of every card.
I would never, of all the things, I'm like, is it the color? Is it the type? Is it the hero synergy?
Mana cost.
I would never in a million years have thought that it was about the cost of the card.
You know what, though? I have a dull memory, and I think I was just, everything is fast, right? So I think I just quickly went past it by accident. That it says that to you. I'm going to replay.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. I couldn't find a way back to that. I didn't know what I was searching for. I'm like, I'm sure I skipped this, but I don't know where to find it. And then I was having so much fun. I was like, who cares? Let's keep going. And I was just enjoying the game.
I'm going to not only watch this video myself, but send it to you, because perhaps there's more explanation.
Ascending mana cost, meaning
that you would play your zeros first, then your ones, then your twos, then your threes.
See,
like
that's
kind of
a layer that requires a little bit of mental energy. I do wonder if that would slow my addled, elderly, crippled brain down a bit.
I don't know. I mean, it's interesting, because like, I know that for me, just the way I was naturally playing, I was like I'd load in, have the fight. I'd look over at my mana and I'd think, well, let me just play all these zeros, because they're just going to be first. A boon to me anyway.
That is a natural, which is why the effect was triggering, but we didn't know why it was triggering.
We didn't know why
we were naturally playing it that way.
It's
very cool. And then there's going to be decisions made, because it's kind of like, there are some times where it's like, okay, well, if I play this color first, it will multiply, but I actually should play the lower mana cost first in order to get the ascending, because I think the combo multipliers are way more valuable.
Yes.
In a match, in a fight, than certain other abilities.
Yeah. Now that I'm like crystal clear on this, I'm very curious to just replay it and watch more, versus just like kind of blasting through it and being like, woo, I think that'll be fun.
Agreed. Last thing, and I think we're gonna wrap up here actually. But we looked up, Colette and I looked up that demo progress on Steam will carry over. I kind of stopped playing after one sitting with it, because I was like, I love this game. I'm going to be obsessed with it, but I don't want to obsess and then stop playing and not keep my progress. However, I think progress will carry over, but they're going to release it on all platforms, including mobile. And I'm like, where am I going to really go hardest on this game? I don't think it's at my computer, or, I think it's going to be on my phone.
I think Steam Deck is
definitely Steam Deck, but it's such a lightweight game. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean like, this is a Vampire Survivors on a phone is a peak gaming experience. You know what I mean? To me. So I kind of want to stop and then just get it on mobile. It's kind of where I'm leaning, but I don't know yet. And then also, I know the family will love this, so maybe I do end up getting it on Switch. Might be the way to go.
You're probably going to buy it multiple times.
I think I will buy it multiple times. Here's the true test. The true test is, I told my wife to check out Animal Crossing. She's like, nah, this looks stupid. 800 billion hours of Animal Crossing. I told her to check out Stardew. She's like, everything's so small and pixelated. It's such an ugly game. Who cares about this game? 9 gajillion hours in Stardew.
Did you tell her about the new marriage candidates? Is she excited?
Yes, she's aware of that. She's married with 2 children in Stardew and cares nothing for story or romances. She's only here to make money, billions of dollars. Love. And I told her about Vampire Survivors, and then she's like, "What is this?" Blah, blah, blah. And then a bajillion hours in Vampire Survivors, and then most importantly, I was like, "Oh, now it's out for mobile," and that's where she really went hard because it's like you can just do it while you watch trash TV. So the true question is, will Vampire Survivors fans who don't like or understand deck building games get this game?
That's a really good question, and I feel like I can't answer it because I have played enough deck building games, even though they're not my number one. I mean, I was a Magic the Gathering player with physical cards, like when I was like in my early 20s. So deck builders are not confusing to me. So that is a very good question, and
I think that
anybody can pick up Vampire.
This is what I'm saying.
Hunters, yeah. Vampire Survivors, anybody can pick that up.
This game singularly, I think, is going to unlock deck building mechanics for millions of people who would who would never seek it out or think about this game mechanic. I think this game is uniquely positioned to unlock that for millions of people.
Wow. God, I love that idea. That would just be wild and awesome.
Isn't that weird?
You know what?
And cool?
Another thing I thought of, and I'm so curious what's going to happen. Is he going to make this game $3? I hope not.
That's a great question.
Because I feel like it's worth a lot more. And I feel like at this point, he could certainly charge more. But I wonder if there's some part of him that's like, I was a huge success because of that $3 price tag.
I think you make it $3. I think you make it less than $5. And then you sell 2 more DLC packs down the road, and then you're golden.
I think that would be sick,
right?
I think that would be so sick. I'd love to see that happen. And I mean, I'll be honest, I would pay 20,
no doubt. But
I don't think he's gonna do it.
If it's $3, if it's $5, then I am buying it on mobile and I'm buying it on console, so that all the people in my family and my life can touch it. So it's $3, but it's actually more like 6 or 10. And then with DLC, you're getting me over to 15 or 20 eventually across all the platforms. And that's what a strategy that is, you know?
It is. Praise Poncle.
Praise Poncle. Praise Concerned Ape. You know,
the true American heroes.
We can make video games that are profitable and sustainable and good. Yeah. We could do it.
And come from the heart, because I think that both these absolutely did, you know? Yeah. So obviously we don't have time today to talk about all of the things we played at Next Fest.
Totally.
But I think next week we'll probably be able to talk about more.
Yeah, totally.
And I have more time to play more things. So we will revisit, but some of you have shared in the Discord what you've been playing, really enjoying that. And also it's nice because it helps me discover new games.
Yes.
So hopefully if you are listening to this, please keep sharing. Definitely want to hear what you're playing.
There's a couple of big marquee things like Vampire Crawlers that are like, whoa, a demo for this highly anticipated game. And then a lot of folks in our community are like, oh, I checked out this random thing and this random. And I'm like, I've never heard of any of these. And now I can look at them and wishlist them. And so, yes, let us dedicate a fuller episode to Next Fest demos next week. But yeah, we had to gush about Crawlers because it is...
so great.
There is nothing like this. There is truly nothing like this game. and it innovates and it crosses genre thresholds while making you feel nostalgic for a game that came out 3 years ago or whatever it was.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And that's just magic. Like I think it's so hard, right? Because it's like, I feel like you see this across not just games, but other media when you've had an enormous success and you need to figure out a way to replicate the success without exactly copying the original thing. And you need to innovate on it, but you also need to make it not too different because you want to capture the thing, right? That gave you the success.
It's the hardest thing.
It's the hardest thing.
Creativity, which is why I fear for Eric Barone's life and mental health with chocolate, haunted chocolatier.
Haunted chocolatier. Yeah. I mean,
how could you top Stardew and all of its update? How could you do better than that? I don't know how you can. And then
sure
if you're going to
differentiate, he's figuring out how to climb.
Yeah, it's very hard. The expectations and the pressure, I can't even begin to understand them. So I hope. Sorry, go ahead.
I think what he made, while obviously majorly inspired by Harvest Moon, is so deeply individual.
Yeah.
You know, the conversations with the villagers, the relationships, the little quirky moments. To me, that is Eric's creativity, right? And so even though I know for him, the pressure must be majorly on, I have complete faith as a fan that I will love what he's going to come up with because to me, that's the signature. But I can understand as a creator, right? Like people have said to me, well, what's your next book going to be about? And I've been like, I didn't write a best-selling book, but will they be happy if they've read, Enter the Meta? Like, will they be happy with the next thing that I do or whatever? So it can be scary, but I don't know. I personally have faith, like complete faith in him, whatever it is.
Yes. No, I have faith that the product will be wonderful, but, if I were in his shoes, it's kind of like, in 50 years, will you be the guy who made a game was not as good as the first game? Like, when it's like when bands like come out and just their debut album is like, oh my God, like this is world changing. And then their next album is like, oh yeah, you really ran out of things to write about, and that's all you had in the chamber. And then you kind of are remembered as either a one-hit wonder or a one album pony. And that is I don't know, man, that's devastating. I would be devastated by that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a risk that, people take when they make anything. It is already such an immense act of vulnerability to put anything out into the world. But I mean, the nice thing is, I think for Ape, is that no matter what he makes, he's going to have, millions of people ready to buy it on day one. Can't say what the reviews are like, but I do think that is a really nice thing and hopefully encouraging for him.
Yeah. And that he has the runway to iterate, even if it's not world changing on day one. He can work on it as long as he wants until he is satisfied or the fans are satisfied. So it's not a moment in time. It's an ongoing endeavor.
That's what I think.
I hope. All right, folks, we are getting out of here. I am cleaning my kitchen while Colette sees the biggest K-pop band in the universe. And we just need to remind you to please be kind and rewind your podcast after you listen to them. And we will talk with you next week for Steam Next Fest demos.
Bye-bye.